Aloha, y'all. My name is Joseph Warren, and today's topic for Self Development Saturday is how to take yourself off mute and start sharing your authentic voice with the world starting today. But first, I want to start with a question, a rhetorical question, but feel free to yell at the screen or yell your answer out at the screen if you would like. The question is this: have you ever wanted to tell someone something, but you didn't get a chance to tell them? Think about that for a little bit. The topic came up when I was actually getting lunch with my mother at one of my favorite Thai restaurants. It has amazing curry, very spicy curry that actually got me into spicy foods. But that's a topic for another day. And we were sitting down eating our curry. It was really great. And then a song came on, an old song from the 80s called The Living Years by Mike and the Mechanics, if you want to check it out. And when that song came on in the music, my mom just started weeping like she was eating her curry. And naturally, I was concerned. I was like, what's the problem? Why are you crying? And she told me it was because the song reminded her of all the things she didn't get to say to her father before he passed away. So this got me thinking about how we really have a chance while we're alive to really share our voice with those we care about in many different ways, whether it's, telling someone that you love them and you're grateful to have them in your life, or whether it's sharing your story with the world and really putting yourself out there. And maybe writing a book, doing different things to put yourself out there. Another story that's related to this is a story of Harry Bernstein. He's a 93-year-old author, and actually he wanted to be an author his whole life, but he never wrote a book that got published until he was 93 years old. And before that, he had gotten many manuscripts and different things that were rejected, but his first book, a memoir, was published when he was 93 years old. The point of this is that he had a quote. And it said, I wonder how many people's potential is just dormant inside them and they'll never realize it unless they get to live until well into their mid-90s. And basically the purpose of this video is just to remind you or to encourage you to stop waiting and to just go do the thing that you know you want to do. What are you leaving unsaid that needs to be said? And I'm going to give you 2 different ways you can do that, maybe even 3. We shall see. Number 1, just start. So whether it's wanting to tell someone something or, maybe something similar with me is making these videos, sometimes I feel a lot of dread, a lot of resistance to making a new video. And I found that a way I can do that is to set a 5-minute timer and just force myself to actually make videos for that time period. And this works because things are a lot harder in your head. They actually are in the real world. Once you start doing things, you find they're a lot more fun. So you kind of create this big mountain in your head of how hard something seems, but then once you start doing it, you find that it's really not that bad. So that's a tip I like to use that I learned from my friend Sean from the Hustle and Know podcast. Set a timer. It can be 2 minutes even, 5 minutes, and tell yourself at the end of those 5 minutes, if I'm not having fun, I can just stop right there. And that's a way to just get started with whether it's communicating to people or just forcing yourself for 2 minutes to tell someone how you feel. Maybe give them a call and say, hey, this is, I'm really grateful to have you in my life. You really had a big impact. Just today, recently, I was talking to someone and she was saying she went to one of her science teachers who got her into science, and she just told her, you really had a big impact on my life getting me into science. That's an example of something you could do. But everyone's life is different. Everyone's perspective is different. Number two is all about choosing yourself. We're reading a book with the Hustle and Know podcast called Choosing Yourself, but really giving yourself permission and not looking for outside permission to do what you want to do. I think a lot of times we look for someone else to give us permission or give us a task of doing the thing we want to do. But you'll find that many people don't even know what's best for themselves, so why would they know what's best for you? Maybe it's political season. It might be the way we were educated, where the teacher decided what you could study, or the Board of Education decided what you could study. But in the real world, you can study anything you want, you can do anything you want, and say anything you want. So give yourself permission to just do what you want to do, say what you want to say, and you'll just learn from doing it. Number 3 is more of a mindset, and it's better done than perfect. I heard one of my friends say this, and I really loved it. And it's such a great idea. A study related to this that I heard is there were a bunch of photography students, and they were giving a certain time limit to submit their best picture. And they were split into 2 groups actually for a study. One of them was told to do all the research and academic study that they could, but they only had to submit 1 picture. And the other ones had to consistently create a picture each day. They had to like each day make a new picture and experiment and learn new things. And at the end, it wasn't even close. The ones who did the best were the ones who actually weren't trying to create just one perfect picture, but were consistently day in and day out creating pictures because they were learning by doing it. That's the best way to learn something, is by actually doing it, not reading about it, studying it, but actually going out there and trying it out. So to conclude, 1 year from now, 5 years from now, maybe 10 years from now, or even when you're at your deathbed, you're gonna wish you had started the thing that you know you really want to do today. So why not just do it today? And that's my challenge for you. My challenge is to do one thing that will allow you to share your greatness with the world, whether it's telling someone some nice words that you know will have a big impact on them, or just sharing your story with the world. Because remember, no one has the unique perspective that you have. That's my challenge for you for Self-Development Saturday, and goodbye.